Here we are in lovely Melbourne, and this, the Australian Grand Prix. The first time that this beautiful Albert Park venue was used to host the Australian Grand Prix was back in 1996. It really is in a great location, sandwiched as it is between the city and the ocean. It's the perfect place for a Grand Prix because of the sheer enthusiasm of the organisers and the huge crowds we see here year in and year out. I'm told that the crowds are up again this year. Conditions are just about perfect here today. Clear skies and perfect temperatures on and off the track. The forecast is also good, and we expect it to stay like this for the whole race. On pole is Felipe Massa. Next to him in second is Fernando Alonso. They're followed by Giancarlo Fisichella in third. Michael Schumacher is next. Takuma Sato goes from fifth. Kimi Raikkonen is next to him in sixth. Seventh place for Juan Pablo Montoya. Rubens Barrichello completes row 4.
Thank you, Martin. 9th is Jenson Button, 10th is Trulli, 11th is Ralf Schumacher, 12th is Klein, 13th is Villeneuve, 14th is Rosberg, 15th for Nick Heidfeld, 17th for David Coulthard, 18th for Montero, Speed 18th, Mark Webber a disappointing 19th, Ide 20th, Liuzzi 21st, and Montero's, no, Albers is last place, sorry. And this weekend, I've already told you my goals. I'm just lucky to be in 5th place right now. My ultimate goal throughout this weekend is actually to just be in the points, so I know I'm going to fall backwards because I'm in the Super Aguri, so I'll hope to stay 7th or 8th. Okay, the engineer's talking, but I'll see you when I'm near the end of the grid, so I'll be right back. Alright, we're back, and you join us at the end of, no, not the end, but the beginning of Sector 3, where we are just warming up our tyres. As you can see, our rear tyres are currently warm, but our front ones are cold as always. Sometimes I just deem the parade laps pointless, but I still end up trying to heat up my tyres anyway, even though I deem it pointless. But yeah, like I said in the before we took a karting commercial break and ended up coming back here, my real goal is just to score some points, so I'm starting 5th. So my start may be great, but I know I'm going to fall backwards because Australia's not my strongest track, so I'll throw it out there for you. But the engineer told us that he was expecting a podium. Is he mad? We're in the Super Aguri, no offense, and we got a Honda engine, and we don't have the strongest straight line speed or any speed going out the corners. We have none of that to our advantage. We're at a complete disadvantage for every car, but we will defend our position as much as we can because I know we're going to get overtaken. It's the 5 red lights here, and it's lights out, and away we go here at Australia. It's a great start by Takuma Sato, like I said. He's going to gain places at the start. And he's up in 3rd place already. Next to him is Alonso and Massa. And Massa's able to retain his place from Fernando Alonso. So Sato has moved up 2 places. Fisichella and Michael Schumacher are the 2 biggest losers, as now they're stuck behind Takuma Sato, who's in a slower car. I don't know what they were thinking during... And contact already! Fisichella has made contact with Takuma Sato and has hit him off the track, but he's retained his place and forced Fisichella off the track. What a start to this race for a podium already. Nope, I do not expect to be staying here. With Sector 1 complete, to defend his position, and Sato's run wide again, and Fisichella's got the opportunity to pass him. Where is he? There he is. And it's a side-by-side battle. Who will get the better? Fisichella's got the better straight line speed, but Sato has defended his position very well here. So Sato does retain 3rd place for now, but while this squabble's going on, the front 2 in Alonso and Massa is gone. Literally gone. They have already pulled a 2-second gap by the looks of things on Takuma Sato, because he was fighting for his position. So that doesn't really help anything. But what a start here on lap 1 in Australia. And I do not expect to keep this position forever because of the fact that I do make a lot of mistakes. And Fisichella's already having a go on the outside. He's this time made it work, but he's had to play a bit dirty by pushing Sato off the track. Lucky there was no contact and no damage to either driver, because it would be disastrous if Fisichella got damaged and Sato. Because then they would have had to pit early and end up losing their places respectively. And look at that. As we get the slipstream of Fisichella, he's pulling away within just straight line speed alone. He did have enough straight line speed to pull away just so that we don't get no slipstream. And poor Sato is powerless against the faster cars because he is in a slow car.
Sato fourth. Michael Schumacher fifth. He slipped down from fourth. Barrichello is sixth.
It was 7th and 8th. I'm guessing the McLarens are 7th and 8th in Montoya and Kimi Raikkonen, but James Allen just abruptly stopped himself from saying who's 7th and 8th. But Montoya and Raikkonen were there from the beginning, and that's where they qualified. So I do expect. Well, no, they didn't. Barrichello was actually 8th, but he's moved up 2 places. So Montoya's not really moved up a position. Kimi Raikkonen is the biggest loser, who's dropped 2 places. So unfortunately for the McLaren, it's going to be another miserable weekend for them, as they got a Honda, a Super Aguri, and then the Ferraris and Renaults in front of them. So they got a lot of work to do if they want to challenge for the title this season. But so far, if you're a McLaren fan, this isn't what you want from your drivers, Montoya and Kimi Raikkonen, who are completely struggling for the pace and to keep up with the front runners in Michael Schumacher and Massa Alonso. Speaking of Michael Schumacher, he's just dived up on the outside and completely took 4th place, and then Sato's regained it. So that's a warning sign for Takuma Sato, as Michael Schumacher let him know he was there. That was quite a ballsy move on the outside. I gotta give Michael Schumacher that. And well, obviously he made a mistake which made myself take 4th place from him. There's red and yellow flags, meaning that there's debris on the track, so we've got to be careful for oil.
I think he's going to pit first. He'll need good in and out laps and possibly a short fill to keep his speed up.
I think they're talking about Fisichella, because I think Fisichella's lightly fueled. And there's a retirement actually. There's a car that's in the pit lane. I think that's a Toro Rosso. I think it's either Scott Speed or Liuzzi. I'm not too sure, because actually, you know what? I think it's probably Scott Speed, because Scott Speed tends to be at the back quite often. So I think Scott Speed has ended his miserable weekend, even though he did out-qualify his teammates, which was a positive for him. But unfortunately, he's out of this race. So there's our first retirement of the day, and it's come from a Toro Rosso. It's Scott Speed, who's out on lap 3.
Fisichella's not going to take it lying down. He's starting to push on now. He's reduced the gap by another 1/10 of a second.
And Sato has made a mistake, and this has invited Michael Schumacher to close the gap on him, who was 8 tenths behind by Takuma Sato. But now, he's just lost the back end there nearly, and Michael Schumacher sees the opportunity, and we've made a mistake, and that's going to be penalty. Yep, there we go. It's going to be a penalty. We're going to have to try and keep everyone behind us while we're serving this penalty. And Barrichello is currently chasing Michael Schumacher. Well, he didn't seize the opportunity because Schumacher was stuck behind Sato and Barrichello was stuck behind Schumacher. So no opportunity of passing this. Sato has kept 4th place, but God knows how long he's going to keep it, because this is lap 4, and Michael Schumacher and Rubens Barrichello will be planning to chase him down. So we're into lap 4 here, and
Massa is second. Fisichella third. Sato fourth. Michael Schumacher fifth. Barrichello is sixth. Montoya is seventh. And Raikkonen is eighth.
And as James Allen was commentating, I just noticed that Fernando Alonso has taken the lead and Felipe Massa has been passed. So Alonso's in the lead and Felipe Massa's second. I don't think he wants that, because obviously Fernando Alonso is currently leading the championship, but it's still early doors, so there's only race 3, so this is good if you're Fernando Alonso, as he's going to plan on extending the gap on Felipe Massa, who's his closest challenger. Barrichello is also a close challenger, but he's 6th place, so this is not good if you're Rubens Barrichello. But I don't think Rubens Barrichello is expected to challenge for the title this season, to be honest, because there's races that he would have great races, and there's some he will have bad races. Surprisingly, we've kept our place within the first 4 laps of the race, but it looks like Michael Schumacher is going to seize the opportunity eventually, even though he's 1.4 seconds down the road. Takuma Sato did do 2 great sectors, so that does explain why Michael Schumacher's fallen back a bit. But until Sato has made a mistake there, it looks like he has invited some sort of pressure on him, and looks like Michael Schumacher has actually closed the gap on him. Sato's taken that corner the penultimate corner very carefully, and here we are on the final start-finish straight. He's nearly clipped the wall there, as he did in the previous qualifying session. Actually, he did clip the wall there. That's his personal best lap of a 1:30.6. That's his fastest he's been all weekend. He's broken to the 1:30s for the first time to Takuma Sato, so that's a good thing for him, as he's getting the maximum out of the car. And Fisichella has in fact pitted, because Takuma Sato has moved up to 3rd, and Michael Schumacher's in 4th with Barrichello 5th. So looks like everybody's going to try and take advantage of Fisichella's early pit stop. So he was lightly fueled. Then again, he should have been ahead of Massa, but then again he was stuck behind Sato for nearly 2 laps. until he aggressively took him off the track. I guess that's a racing incident. I wouldn't say it's Fisichella's fault that Sato ran wide, because it is a racing incident, and it was a great overtake by Giancarlo Fisichella. So heading. Oh, he's made another mistake, Takuma Sato. He's inviting pressure on himself, and he's hit the wall again. He's very lucky that it's just been slight kissing with the wall, and he makes a kiss tap with the wall, and luckily there's no damage done to him, or else he would have retired already. I guess if this was the newer F1 games, that would have been a retirement, to be honest with you, because the damage in F1 2016 and 17 are a bit well, more realistic than this game. And Takuma Sato has a bit of a wheel spin and touch from Michael Schumacher, and that's also been passed by Michael Schumacher. That was a bit aggressive from the Ferrari driver, but his frustration being stuck behind the Super Aguri led to him doing that. And now he's in third place. Takuma Sato's ran wide, and this has invited pressure for Barrichello to pass him. As Takuma Sato tyres is off the cliff, him getting wheel spin didn't really help, considering he got a slight tap from Michael Schumacher from behind. So that didn't really help Michael Schumacher. Not Michael Schumacher. It didn't help Takuma Sato getting contact from Michael Schumacher.
He slipped from third. Barrichello fifth. Montoya sixth. Seventh is Button, and Raikkonen is eighth.
Well, James, your positions are wrong, but that's okay, because everyone's been pitting, so I'm pretty sure that you knew that when the moment you started doing the positions, but that's okay. So we're going to expect Massa and Alonso to pit soon, and Michael Schumacher looks like he's heavily fueled, because he's been slower than Massa all weekend, so pretty sure he did this to try and get ahead of Fisichella, who's lightly fueled, so it's kind of a strategy battle to see if Michael Schumacher can get the overcut on Giancarlo Fisichella. And I'm going to guess that he probably won't, because he was stuck behind Takuma Sato for far too long. But Takuma Sato is pushing on to see if he can get ahead of Fisichella, which I also doubt, because he made contact with Michael Schumacher and then had that little wheel spin. And turn, I think that was turn 12 we had the slight wheel spin from Michael Schumacher. So it's going to be very competitive. And Jenson Button is currently 5th with Raikkonen 6th. I don't know who's 7th and 8th, because, well, I only see what's on there. Both Fernando Alonso and Felipe Massa has hit the pit lane, so that's going to make Michael Schumacher go first, because, well, he's heavier fueled and Felipe Massa is the first to react. Here comes Takuma Sato entering the pit lane from 4th place. He's made a kiss with the barriers again. He's very lucky not to be losing any tyres or be retired out of the race. And Alonso's just gone in front of Takuma Sato, and Massa's just had to wait for Takuma Sato, so that's frustration for the Ferrari driver as he is behind Fernando Alonso. But here's Super Aguri pit stop. The fastest pit stop has been 9.2 seconds so far this season, and they go a bit faster. This is a great stop by the Super Aguri boys, and 8.9 seconds as Takuma Sato's out of the pit lane. Great stuff by Takuma Sato there. And he's coming out in 7th place behind Liuzzi. Fisichella has gone ahead, so that was a mismatch really, trying to compete with Fisichella, considering Michael Schumacher did cause us to have some wheel spin. But now we're competing with Rubens Barrichello for our point scoring position, as both Honda drivers, Barrichello and Button, are pretty much behind Super Aguri driver Takuma Sato, who's supplying the engines for the team, as Honda are. So they've got to be careful not to fight within each other and crash, because then it will be bad for Honda, respectively, for power units and whatnot, and replacing stuff. So we don't want no crashes here from either the Super Aguri team or the Honda team, as they are offering the Aguri team an engine. So let's try and not into some drama with the Hondas. And speaking of drama, oh goodness me, that was contact between Barrichello and Sato. And Sato's actually kept his front wing, and Barrichello's not got a puncture. Oh, Sato's been involved in everything today, from contact with Fisichella twice, contact with Michael Schumacher, and now he's running wide. So Button's gone past, so Takuma Sato is currently out the points. Well, I did say that this weekend we might struggle points, and it's Montoya this time. Look at that! These two have had a battle in Malaysia, which led to Montoya's retirement, and Montoya had made contact and overtook Sato, but pretty sure Sato's not finished with Montoya, as he plans to dive bomb him from the inside, and he's got the pass on Montoya. Oh, it's not over. Oh, Montoya's hit Sato. This is far from over between the two. Montoya and Sato did have an incident in Malaysia, so this is far from over. I think Montoya wants his revenge, as he wants to finish ahead of Sato. He's getting really frustrated being behind the Super Aguri driver. And I don't blame him, because personally everyone's been stuck behind him, apart from Fisichella, apart from Alonso and Massa, sorry.
In 7th place is
Liuzzi's in the pit lane, James. Never mind, but Looks like Montoya and Sato's going to be wrestling for 7th place, which is only 2 solitary points, but 2 points will do very nice for the Super Aguri team. McLaren really need to score some points here, considering they've really suffered. And this is going to be a battle between Montoya and Sato. It's lasted longer already than it did in Malaysia, because Montoya crashed in lap 1. So here we go. Sorry, I had to take a little breather there, as we are heading into the end of Sector 2 on this straight. The McLaren should have a superior straight line speed to the Super Aguri, but it seems Montoya's not there enough to make the challenge, which he's not, because he's 1 second behind. Sato has ran wide, and that's going to invite Montoya back into the fray here to take 7th place from him. And Montoya is right on his case, and Sato is going to break here. And contact! Oh, not again! Montoya is out! Can you believe it? Montoya has hit Sato, and he's out again! Oh my goodness! Montoya must be hating Takuma Sato this season. Oh dear, Montoya is out again. Contact with Sato, trying to overtake him, made him lose a tyre. And he's suffered more damage, and Sato's left unscathed. My goodness, Montoya. Again, another retirement, and Ron Dennis throws his headset as Montoya is out. It's been a miserable start to the season for the McLaren, who have only got 7 points. Well, if I'm right, they have 7 points. 4 for Raikkonen and 3 for Montoya. So it's been a miserable start to the season for McLaren, who's already well off the pace from the Renaults and the Ferraris. And if it stands at this rate, they're going to be battling the Super Aguris for 4th place. Because even the Honda team is ahead of the McLarens right now. So this is not what the fight that McLaren wanted to have at the start of the season. But I'm afraid this is what it's turned out to be, considering Montoya has been reckless and hitting Takuma Sato. I only put that down as a racing incident again, because both of them were fighting for a place, and Montoya was trying to gain advantage from Sato having the race line, and that was pretty dangerous for Montoya, because both drivers could have been out. So that was a racing incident. But Montoya is out again from Takuma Sato, and that is crazy. I really hope that this isn't going to be the summary for the season, Montoya versus Sato. Then again, Montoya versus Sato has been very interesting so far, as Montoya has been at the worst of it, retiring twice in a row now. Now Kimi Raikkonen is battling with Takuma Sato, as Takuma Sato is keeping up with the McLaren Kimi Raikkonen, who hasn't really been able to pull away from the Super Aguri driver. The pace in this McLaren has been very, very poor this season.
Button performed well through the end part of the lap. The gap has now grown to 3.8 seconds.
Good final sector. Your best so far this session.
Thanks, engineer. Well, I told you that this race wasn't going to be a good one for me, but it's been an eventful one, because we've been in a battle with Fisichella, Michael Schumacher, the Hondas, the McLaren, so we have been in the mixed of things. This has probably been the most eventful race out of all of the other races we've had so far this season. Well, in Bahrain, during this time, we already retired due to an engine failure. Let's hope we don't have an engine failure, because we got 1 solitary point. And that 1 solitary point will still be helpful enough for us to push to a good season. So far we are having a good season, as we are we're competing for the points in every race so far, even though Australia's been the worst of the races, because we've just gone backwards as the race has gone by. But I expected this, considering we do have the slowest car, we don't have the best straight line speed, we don't have the best speed going into corners, we have none of that at our disposal. So as you saw against Fisichella, we tried to take a slipstream, but Fisichella just pulled away rather quickly, so we're at a disadvantage anyway. So my aim of the season is to still honestly be one of the top 12 drivers of the season, or something like that, and try and have a great Constructors points finish as well. So far it's been a good start, as we're currently 5th in the Constructors, but we are on the penultimate lap of this race.
He was clearly quicker in that last sector. He's managed to reduce the deficit by another 0.2 of a second. The pressure seems to have gotten to Raikkonen. Button would have been feeling the pressure, but continued to race without any major mistakes. He is now effectively out of touch as a result.
Well, that's great for Jenson Button, but here's the position so far from my data. First is Alonso, second is Massa, third is Fisichella, fourth is Michael Schumacher, fifth is Barrichello, sixth is Jenson Button, 7th is Kimi Raikkonen, and 8th is Takuma Sato, with truly 9th chasing him down for the final point scoring position. And Jack Villeneuve is, well, forget about Jack Villeneuve. He's nowhere near Gianno Trulli. So any hopes of Jack Villeneuve trying to score a point in tatters. Let's just put it that way. But Trulli still has a chance as he's chasing down Takuma Sato. And it seems the Japanese manufacturers really are battling against each other this weekend. We've had the Super Aguri battling the Hondas, and then now we've got the Toyota of Trulli chasing down the Super Aguri of the Honda. So it's been a battle of the Japanese faction on the Asian track. It's been pretty interesting, as Kimi Räikkönen has pulled away. So Kimi Räikkönen has just about secured 7th place, as we can't really keep up with Kimi Räikkönen. And we did make a few mistakes here and there.
Behind him in second is Massa.
Okay, that was Martin Brundle saying Fernando Alonso started his final lap, so we're well away from them. I would say we're about 30 seconds behind Massa and Alonso.
The final lap of the race begins. The pressure is really on now. At this late stage, is there still time for him to steal a better place?
I wouldn't go that far, Martin, to be honest with you. I think everybody's places are secure. I think the only real battle we're seeing on the... Actually, you know, I don't think there is a real battle on the... I don't think there is a real battle. The only real battle going on is a battle for 8th place, as Trulli is closing in on Sato. Sato's tyres are starting to go off the cliff. So that's the only real battle going on, as Massa's too far behind Alonso. Likewise, the Fisichella, and then Michael Schumacher's having his own bloody race, poor guy. And the Hondas aren't really going to fight each other, as it's 5th and 6th, and they want all the points they can get. Kimi Räikkönen's too far behind Jenson Button, and we're too far behind Kimi Räikkönen. So it's only a battle for really 8th place, to be honest with you, between Trulli and Sato that's heating up within the final sector of the race now, as Trulli is 2.3 seconds down the road. So if anything, I think Sato should secure it. Fernando Alonso has crossed the line and won the race.
A well-deserved 10 points. Massa will hang on to finish in second.
And Fisichella will take 3rd place with Michael Schumacher 4th. And then the two Hondas would take 5th and 6th. Kimi Räikkönen should come home in 7th in another disappointing race for McLaren. But in 8th place is Takuma Sato. Like I said, I only wanted points be in a point scoring position. And 1 point is what we're going to get. And 1 point I'm happy with. That was an eventful race on my end. And I'm very proud of my performance despite falling back and making a lot of mistakes. But it is what it is.
Another brilliant weekend here in Melbourne, I think you'll agree. Join us in 2 weeks' time when we'll be heading back to Europe for a 5-race stint that will start at San Marino, where Ferrari will be expected to put on a show of strength for the ever-loyal Tifosi. Following that, it's the Nürburgring for the European Grand Prix. Then Barcelona in Spain, and then heading into June, we've got the wonderfully glamorous, star-studded Monaco Grand Prix. And finally, on to Silverstone for the British Grand Prix before heading stateside. We hope you'll join us for all of them. See you soon.
I wasn't even right about the retirement of Scott Speed. It was actually Tiago Monteiro of the Midlands, but it looked like a Toro Rosso colour. But anyway, Montoya's retired again, Paul Montoya. And Mark Webber completes the misery of his race weekend by finishing 17th. So I'm pretty sure the Australians aren't really too happy to smile about that one. But seems the next race will be in San Marino, where Ferrari will be hoping to respond after losing the lead here in Australia. Here's the championship standings. Alonso extends his gap over to Massa to 5 points, with Barrichello dropping to 4th after Fisichella gets 3rd, so 18 points for Fizzy. Michael Schumacher stays 5th with Sato 6th. Montoya's dropped down to 9th after yet another retirement for Juan Pablo Montoya. And well, the other point scoring positions are just the usual people, really. So now it's time to go to the constructors' standings in about a few seconds. Renault lead Ferrari by 9 points, with Honda trailing by 12 points behind Ferrari, and McLaren 13 points further down the road, with Aguri, Honda 2 points behind the McLaren, and then the rest is history, with Toyota and BMW Sauber on 1 point. So yes, it's a battle between McLaren and Super Aguri already for 4th place, and well, Honda's slowly creeping up on Ferrari after a great point scoring finish, but that is what it is, really. It was another great eventful race, for me anyway. It was just eventful from lap 1 onwards, you know, losing positions but defending my position against the usual suspects. It was fun for me anyway, but if I need to cut mistakes out of my game to improve in the Australian Grand Prix, which I probably will do. But in 2 weeks' time, we will be doing the San Marino Grand Prix, where Michael Schumacher's tend to be very successful here. So I'm expecting Michael Schumacher to step up his game because he's been very poor this season and Massa's just been outstaging him lately. So yeah, I'm expecting Michael Schumacher to make vast improvements. Anyway, this is SamuraiT-X signing out for this episode. Until then, thank you guys for watching, and I shall see you in 2 weeks' time where we race at Imola in San Marino. Take care, everybody. Goodbye.